What is going on, Locks Mob, and welcome back to the next week's installment of Locks DFS NHL Breakdown. I don't really have an official intro for this yet, but I'll come up with it as we go along. But for those of you new here, essentially what this video is I just run down the main slate on DraftKings for that NHL slate today. That is Monday, December 10th. So I'll go ahead and talk about the 4-game slate we have on tap. Before I get into that, though, go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with anything about me. If you want to talk to me about hockey, basketball, football, soccer, anything, you can go ahead and tweet me or DM me right here. And go ahead and follow Locks DFS as well. We also, Taylor just announced the giveaway of we do a weekly giveaway at Locks DFS, where all you have to do is like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then just comment kind stuff down below throughout the week on this video and all the other videos that we put out. Just comment something interesting, a play that you liked out of that video, or maybe something you'd like to see from that video specifically in the future, or something you enjoyed. Just comment something. We always keep an eye out. And then I believe Taylor announced the winner on his video, so go check that out. And if you were the winner, go ahead and enjoy your free NHL, NBA, or NFL season pass. But yeah, so with that all being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. We have a 4-game slate on tap, so not the best slate, but there's still quite a few spots that I'm interested in taking advantage of. We'll start at the center position. The first thing that kind of popped to me when I looked at this position was seeing Evgeny Malkin at 6.5K. That's just crazy cheap for a guy of his talent. Pittsburgh is more of a one-line team now that they're missing Patrick Hornquist. They moved Gensel and Kessel both to that first line. Typically, you see Gensel skate with Crosby, Kessel will skate with Malkin, and then they'll split these guys up, or they'll split up their sort of like their bum wingers. They'll put like a Brian Rust up here with Gensel and Crosby, and then they'll put like a Pearson with Malkin and Kessel, and give them sort of some more depth to it. But now with this, they're essentially a one-line team with these guys. But they are on the road, so I think this top line will see the Islanders' top checking line, and I do think Evgeny Malkin should be able to skate against the depth lines of the Islanders, and I like him to be the primary shooter. As I talked about, he's a Hall of Fame talent. These guys are scrubs, so I think that Evgeny Malkin is going to take a little more offensive responsibility on this line, so I really like the price on him, and I think he makes for a good little one-off play on Pittsburgh as well. Obviously, you can get more exposure to Pittsburgh. They have a 3.5 team total if you care to do so. I think for my dollar, I like Tampa Bay and San Jose a bit more. But with that being said, San Jose, speaking of them, Logan Couture at 5.9K is another just drastic mispricing. He's probably going to be a lock in all my lineups. San Jose as well is they've kind of moved towards more of a one-line team with Couture centering Hurdle and Pavelski. Keep tracking these lines as the day goes on. I don't think these are final. I think these should be their lines. But I check a bunch of places for lines, and I just see so many different things for San Jose. And since they are the 10:30 game, I guess something could change. So just keep checking these. But regardless, I think the price on Couture, whether he's on the first or second or whatever line, I think 5.9K is just far too cheap for a guy that talent. I don't know what DraftKings did to all these San Jose prices, but they knocked them down a lot. Coming down a little farther, we got Nico Hischier at 4.7K. New Jersey, another reason I like San Jose is New Jersey is the only team out of all 8 that's on the second end of a back-to-back and on the road. But with that being said, Nico Hischier, I mean, this dude was the first overall pick, and he's centering Taylor Hall and Kyle Palmieri, and he's 4.7K. It's too cheap. Brock Nelson's honestly similar. He's on the first line, centering Andersley and Josh Bailey, which is a pretty formidable line. But I just don't think I'm going to come down into this range. But I think if you do want to come down here, I do like Brock Nelson for the price, and also Nico Hischier as well. With that being said, let's move on to winger. Winger is sort of the same as center. We've got some crazy underpriced guys, in my opinion, and we got some standard price guys. Like, we got Kucherov here, probably leading the way. My favorite high price option at 7.7K. Like I said earlier, Tampa has a 4.1 team total. And if you've watched these videos earlier, like the last couple that I've made, I talk about this whole Tampa Bay situation that's going on. When when Steven Stamkos is paired with Nikita Kucherov on a line, typically their third guy will be like JT Miller or Andres Palat or something. But when Stamkos is with Kucherov, that makes for one of the more fantasy-friendly stacks that you can put together because both guys are such high-rate shooters skating together, both get on the power play together, so it's fun to stack those two. But when Kucherov is on this line with Tyler Johnson and Braden Point, and we see Stamkos move with Gordon Palat, Kucherov just becomes like the primary shooter on this line. I mean, Braden Point and Tyler Johnson are both awesome talents as well. So I think for Kucherov's individual fantasy value, being on this line is better for him. But as far as stacking them up, it's more fun with Kucherov skating with Stamkos. But with all that being said, I essentially just want to say I think Kucherov's in the best possible spot that he could be in. And sitting at 7.7K is definitely a price point that I'm willing to pay for him. Because I think you'll have some money to go around. If you want to go real deep, though, I think a really interesting play on the Islanders side of that Pittsburgh game is Anthony Beauvillier. Super talented skater, one of the higher shot rate guys on the Islanders. And he's skating on this second line with Matt Barzal and Josh Bailey, and then obviously Anthony Beauvillier. But I think of these guys, Anthony Beauvillier and Josh Bailey are really the shooters, but Beauvillier's got a better shot out of all three of these guys. Barzal's much more of a playmaker. He tends to make the best pass as opposed to take the last shot. And I think Beauvillier could really benefit from skating with a guy like Matt Barzal. And to get that guy at 3.3K is a total steal. Lets you pay up for a lot, so I like the price on him. And then I also like the price on, obviously, these mid-price San Jose guys. They're all sort of grouped together. Evander Kane's on the third line, but is the highest rate shooter with the iCourse 4 per 60 of over 22. I can show you that in... I already have it filtered. So we have Evander Kane leading San Jose in iCourse 4, followed by Timo Meier, who was also priced. He leads the pack. He's on the second line skating with Joe Thornton. He's a fine play. More of a, if you're not stacking San Jose, you can go with that Timo Meier line because he's skating with Joe Thornton, who anyone who's skating with Joe Thornton, Joe Thornton's one of the better setup men in the league, but he just will not shoot the puck. So you like his wingers because they're probably going to take on an increased emphasis when it comes to shooting the puck. And then we got the couple of defensemen, Burns and Carlson. And it's a good segue to talk about them. So I like Hurdle the most out of everyone here, point per dollar wise, just because he's skating with Couture and Pavelski. I just think that's such a lethal line that they should all be priced 1,000 more probably, or probably like 800 more. So I think on a 4-game slate, if you want to full stack that line, I think that is a viable approach. And you can even pair it with one of these underpriced defensemen. And let's talk about those defensemen because Brent Burns is 5.9K. It's absurd. I don't know what DraftKings is doing, man. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I guess he hasn't had great games. I mean, but he still put up like 8.5, 2, and 3, and he was 7K 4 games ago. Why is he 5.9 versus a defensively inept team that's on a road back-to-back? I don't know, but everyone should play him. Including you if you're watching this video. You should play him. I know all my members will play him, so just play Brent Burns. Like I talked about with iCourse 4, I mean, this is absurd. Brent Burns is shooting the puck at such an absurd rate this year, along with Erik Karlsson, man. And it's just like these guys are shooting the puck so much, and they're just suffering from bad luck. I mean, Brent Burns, even though he's a defenseman, he is a career like 4 to 5% shooter, and he's shooting 1.45% this year, so that's due to regress positively in a fairly substantial way. And same with Erik Karlsson. I mean, Erik Karlsson has 2 goals, and his individual shot percentage is still 0 because it probably still rounds down to 0 because of how many shots he's put on net, how many shots he's put towards the net. Only 2 have gone in. So this dude is due for some crazy positive regression. He is priced higher than typically my thing is I play the cheaper one, which is always Erik Karlsson. But the fact that it's Brent Burns right now, and he's really not even like that, 5,900 is a super fair price for him. Like, it's as fair as it could possibly be. So playing Brent Burns and just stacking him with Erik Karlsson is a super viable approach in my opinion. And it's probably something I'm going to look into doing pretty strongly. If it doesn't put me over the top on San Jose, as far as like I'm rocking like 6 guys now, then I think I'll do that. Not too much that's going on in this cheaper range. Ryan Pulock has started recently skating more minutes. He's been one of the more fantasy-friendly defensemen for the past couple years. He's got a booming shot. He just hasn't really been shooting as much as he was last year. He hasn't been doing that this year, but recently we've seen his minutes tick up into sort of like the minimum 22 range. And so I like that for a guy of his talent, and we know we've seen his pedigree in the past. He's willing to shoot the puck. For some reason, it just hasn't been there this year, but I like to bet on guys at 4.3K who have at least shown in the past that they are willing to throw the puck at the net. Yeah, aside from that, there's really not too much. I still think Victor Hedman is pretty underpriced. Arguably a top 3 offensive defenseman in this league. He's 5.7K, and his team has the highest team total. He gives you awesome exposure to that Tampa Bay first-team power play with Stamkos and Kucherov and all those guys. So, like, this right here, one of the more fantasy-friendly positions in all of hockey DFS. And so I think I'm looking. I like to pay up at defensemen because they typically come with the best floor. So I think this is another day that I'm probably going to do that and sort of avoid this cheaper range down here. If you want to come down here, Nicoletti's cheap, 3.3K. So is Boychuk. But again, I'm probably not coming down here. Anyways, moving on to goalie. I guess we can just talk about favorites because that's what we're kind of going for. We're going for shots and we're going for a win. So we have our favorites are looking like Detroit barely. I didn't talk much about this game. It's more of an avoid for me. Just too slow pace. LA's decently defensively, horrible offensively. Detroit's horrible offensively. So I'm not too interested here. But I guess you could go for a goalie here. Maybe pick whoever you think is going to win here as a viable goalie. Probably Detroit for me. Over here, I mean, you could go with any one of these guys. I expect goals to probably be scored in these games, so I'm not too interested in the goalie from these games. I'll probably just pick one of these two, either Louis Domingue or whoever starts for San Jose. It's currently supposed to be Martin Jones, but keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on that for all the members, of course. But they're both 8K, so just plug in one of them, roll with one of them, or roll with Louis Domingue at 8.3K. Both are super, super good options on this slate. But yeah, with that being said, that'll wrap it up for this video. Again, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at RayleighAddy if you just want to ask me a few questions about this slate or any of the future slates. But yeah, appreciate you guys checking out this video, and I will see you all tomorrow. See ya.